The Bible doesn't claim that everybody.
I seen some preachers in strip clubs and stuff. So I'm like, yo, what's going on,
Nah,
God? What you doing?
That's out of pocket.
Damn, fam, what's up with you?
Are you being?
I'm scared. I'm just telling him, like, hey, what you doing, God? Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
crazy.
hey, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think that should be happening.
Yeah, I'm like, hey,
I'm not judging them, but I don't think that is a place that will edify you.
But it could be. Let me say this. On the flip side, it could be. You're learning. You're learning where somebody. Okay, I'm just
that's
just trying to help somebody out.
That's a reach. That's a reach. That's a reach.
I'm just trying to help somebody out. So how do you feel about? Like, a lot of people feel like is a lot of devil worshiping in hip hop.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm pretty simple with that stuff. I think if people are being explicit about it, I believe them. So if they got like talking about name in their songs, or they got like symbols or stuff or whatever, then I think that they would be influenced. But I think at the end of the day, though, like hip hop, the Bible, I'm going back to the Bible, right? Because this is what I believe. The Bible says that Satan or the devil is, the prince or the ruler of the world. And I think one of his roles is he influences people by lying to them, tempting them. Jesus was tempted. So he tempts them into believing lies. Mm-hmm. I think one of the lies that people in hip hop could believe are that glory is something that they should be for them, or money, or sex, or power. So in that sense, yeah, I think people could be worshiping the devil in the sense of they want these things so bad they would do anything to get it. And that's what the devil tempted Jesus and said. He said, I'll give you all this splendor if you bow down and worship me. I'll give you all this glory. And that's attractive. Like as humans, we like the glory sometimes, but I think if we go about the wrong means to get it, it's going to be dangerous for our soul. And that's why you got a lot of people that be in the industry committing suicide on mad pills, medicating themselves, going crazy in the mind, because humans wasn't created for that type of glory. They wasn't created to be worshipped. Only God was created for that. So that's why I think it gets tricky. So to answer your question, I do think the devil has influence in hip hop, whether it's explicit, whether people are like worshiping him, or inexplicit, where they're being influenced and lied and tricked and deceived.
So you don't listen to 3 6 Mafia?
Nah, fam.
You can't listen to them?
Nah, I just prefer not to.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I never paid attention to the name until they had the battle with
the verses
with the verses with Bone Thugs, and it was just like, yo, the guys at Bone Thugs didn't really like, their name, and I was like, I never knew there was 3 6. I never.
Nah, I stay away from that stuff, man. I think you just gotta be careful, because it's like we were saying, right? Music influences you, right? Like when we was playing ball, we wasn't listening to Taylor Swift before the games. We was listening to Jeezy or whatever, because it's gonna influence a certain mentality. When people about to go on a hit, or they not listening to whatever, they listen to something that's gonna. So if anything, I'm listening to, I'm inputting it into my mind, my soul, my spirit. So if it's toxic, if it's unhealthy, or if it's dark, I don't want to get that in me, because that's what's going to come out. Whatever you put in is going to come out.
So what do you say to an artist that does that and they say, yo, I'm mad successful doing this? What are you talking about? What do you say to them?
I would say that success is, it's a terrible God. Success is not the end all be all of life. Success. If success was everything, then everybody that's successful would love their life. And not everybody that's successful love their life. That's why you got people jumping out of buildings at Google or whatever, and people committing suicide or wanting to commit suicide. Didn't Deion Sanders want to commit suicide after he won the Super Bowl? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I would say that success isn't enough to sustain a healthy soul. Like, at the end of the day, the most important thing that we got is our soul. And our heart, and who we are internally, not what we have externally. So if I'm going to compromise my soul for the sake of success, the Bible says, what good is it if you gain the whole world but forfeit your soul? Which means that your soul and our inner is more valuable than success. It's more valuable than the whole world. So I'd rather keep my soul intact then pursue success. Now, people.
What if the person say, "Yo, this feels good though, man? You talking about you know?"
I mean, sin feels good.
Okay.
Shoot, it does feel good. I think I would be lying if I say that sin doesn't feel good. All that stuff feels good. It's like hot Cheetos feel good too.
Nah, no, it don't. Because when it come out, you be like, oh my God.
But I guess what I'm trying to say, not everything that feels good or tastes good is healthy for you.
Yeah, but not hot Cheetos though.
But that's a bad example. But you're trying to say what I'm saying, right?
Okay.
Like a burger or whatever. Like not everything that is healthy.
You eat hot Cheetos?
Sometimes. It's not good for me though.
Yeah, you shouldn't, kid.
I know.
Or Flaming Hot?
Yeah, it shouldn't.
I just found out that story about Flaming Hot too. It's an amazing story.
I don't know the story. I guess what I'm trying to say is people were saying, oh, it feels good or whatever. Just because you crave something or doesn't mean it's healthy for you or good for you to consume. So there's a lot of things that feel good that aren't good for you.
How do you feel about people, just period? Like, so when I walk around, I'm like, yo, what's up, God? Or I call myself the Gwinnett God.
Yeah.
You understand? How do you feel about that? Is that like a disrespect?
Yeah, I don't like it because I think, I guess my question to them would be like, what is your motivation in that?
Well, I just told you I'm heavily influenced. When you said you listen to music, you're heavily influenced. So when I listen to Brand Nubian, they tell you that the black man is God.
Yeah.
So they say that we are God and God-like. So that's why, people either take God body names and or, feel like their body's a temple and it's God.
Yeah. So
I can't speak 100% with full knowledge of it, but that's why they say God.
Yeah. So that's why I would probably have a problem with it. I don't necessarily have a problem with them, but I have a problem with that ideology or that mentality because I think that was one of the deceptions. I don't know if you believe or remember the story in the garden.
No, I don't know any of these stories. Can you tell me these stories?
Yeah, so one of the story in the garden is that Adam and Eve were in this garden. God said you can have everything in the garden except for this one tree you can't eat from. But the whole garden was plush. It was banging. Mm-hmm. And then the serpent, which was the devil, basically deceived them into believing that, hey, if you eat this, you'll be like God. And that was tempting to that human flesh. And I think, and so that's how they end up falling. That's how they end up being deceived.
So they ate from that one tree.
They ate from that tree because the deception was that it would sort of make you God, like you will be a God. It will make you like God. And I think that is indicative of what human nature, like we want to be elevated as God, but there's only one God. I think that's the tension that we all have. Like that's why we want fame and power and glory, because we kind of want to be elevated, but really that's only belongs to one person, which is the one true God, which I believe is Jesus. But I get it. I mean, they call CP3 the point God. I get that stuff, but I don't think it's necessarily.
Oh yeah, they do call CP3 that.